So watch out. Man, I levitate. Don't play no 18 and do it. Man, I levitate. I elevate. Me I tell you straight, me no respond so I'm slow and down switcher. Richer get richer and richer. You wanna deal with. That way, you know. Yeah, bro. So I don't know me. They're back with another video where on TikTok I saw this woman and she's talking about ALKALINE's history and what went down in dancehall, how he has dominated dancehall, everything, bro. Me didn't want the video from night, dog, but I don't know my little daughter just can't sleep them water, dog. You see me? So if I get the chance to come out and talk, say don't know me, I see the content we do know, make on this work on because, bro, the lady fuck up this. You see it? It's like her journalism is just solid 10, bro. She journalizes so much so that is totally on point, me G. You see me? And what ALKALINE did, it's an excellent but yet still a tremendous work in dancehall. It dog have everybody in a choke hole, and the woman come out and the woman give you everything detail by details or something like that. You see me? So people, let us squad. Me I go on the full clip, then you see afterwards me can come here with my take when I think of it. You see me? So me could dive in. That way, you know.
From fake eyeball tattoos to strategic silence, he built a whole brand on mystery, rebellion, and anticipation. But here's the thing, his rise wasn't accidental, it was marketing gold. ALKALINE didn't just bust, he engineered his rise like a PR master. Today we're breaking down how ALKALINE rose to fame from a marketing and PR perspective, his shock tactics, the Kartel comparison, the 2016 prophecy, and why, even in silence, his name still runs dancehall's canvas. Let's talk about it. Now, ALKALINE, born Erland Bartley, hit the dancehall scene in the early 2010s as a teenager out of Arden High School. From the beginning, his brand was rooted in shock and awe. Him coming with him bleached skin, his gothic-like image, him eyeballs that were supposedly tattooed black, his dark lyrics about death, sex, and defiance. This wasn't normal for dancehall at the time. He was clean-cut in dress but wild in image, and content a walking contradiction. And that made people talk. That's the first rule of PR. If they're talking, you're winning. His early songs like 1, 2, 3, Move Mountains, and Things Me Love got attention, but it was the controversy around his image that really pushed him into the public eye. Now let's talk about the shock marketing and the controversy that ALKALINE used as a strategy. Let's call it what it was. ALKALINE was a master of shock marketing. He understood that in a saturated market, you either fit in or stand out loud. By claiming he tattooed his eyeballs, which turned out to be a stunt, he pulled a textbook publicity stunt. It blurred the lines between madness and genius. Even doctors were debating the procedure on talk shows. That kind of viral attention, money can't buy. And the lyrical content matched the controversy. He doubled down with songs that were sexually explicit, morally rebellious, and emotionally dark. That's important because in marketing, your product has to match the brand energy. He didn't just do controversy, he committed to the character. Now, one of ALKALINE's smartest marketing plays was that he stayed campless. Him no go gully, him no go Gaza, him no go alliance, it was just vendetta. This was genius in a time when artists usually needed cosigns or to belong to a crew. ALKALINE created his own identity and his own tribe. Vendetta became more than a slogan, it became a movement, merch, slang, fan pages, loyalty overall. This type of tribal branding builds what marketers call brand evangelism, where fans don't just consume your product, they preach your brand. And the mystery that made him magnetic, ALKALINE was barely giving interviews. No vlogs, no oversharing, just music, mystique, and suspense. That's scarcity marketing 101. Now let's talk about ALKALINE's comparison to Kartel, which was more of a marketing fuel and less of a threat. From day one, people said he's trying to be Kartel, and honestly, that worked in his favor. Think about it, Kartel is the GOAT of controversy and lyrical dominance. When people said ALKALINE was like a goth Gaza, it made fans curious. It invited comparisons and controversy over who's better, and that's free promo. And I am probably one of the persons who is not afraid to say I am Gaza Vendetta. I say I am probably an endangered species because I think there's no way you can say Gaza and don't say Vendetta. And vice versa. the sounds may be different, but for the same reasons that we love Vybz Kartel is the same reason we love ALKALINE. They both have solid music careers, they give us something to look forward to, and they keep us on our toes. But unlike some of Kartel's other musical kids, ALKALINE never tried to be Kartel-liked. He leaned into the darkness but stayed stylistically his own. Plus, he avoided Kartel's fate. He never got arrested, he is never overexposed, and he never crumbled. That gave him an edge in my opinion. Now let's talk about the 2016 prophetic album rollout. Now here's where the marketing game for ALKALINE got really elite. From as early as 2013, ALKALINE was constantly referencing 2016 in interviews and lyrics. It was cryptic. Fans didn't know why, but he kept saying it over and over and over again. This created a future branding effect. When people keep hearing a year repeatedly, it builds subconscious hype. By the time New Level Unlocked dropped in 2016, people felt like they'd wait years for it. The album went #1 on the Billboard reggae chart, and by that time, the Vendetta fan base was locked in. He didn't just drop an album, he dropped a fulfillment of a prophecy. Then we had the visual branding and sound consistency. ALKALINE had another smart move with visual branding. He stuck to the dark cinematic videos, the consistent cover art style. He controlled his image and didn't chase trends. He didn't do much collabs. We never see him really do no one bag of collabs with other artists, which preserved his mystique and exclusivity. He gave his fans a world to buy into. From music videos to IG posts, his brand never broke character. It was consistent and controlled, just like one of them high-end luxury brandy. And musically, he never flooded the market like others. He dropped strategically, making each release feel like an event. Now ALKALINE is in his reclusive era and he still has a loyal fan, a lasting fan loyalty. Now let's talk about present day ALKALINE. The man hardly posts, him hardly do no bag of interviews, him hardly dip on the blogs, no antics, but guess what? His fan base is still loyal. Why? Because ALKALINE gave them more than songs. He gave them an identity, a movement, a belief system. Vendetta is more than music, it's a mindset. Plus, ALKALINE had a young audience who basically grew up on his music and are still in awe of it, much like how some of the older audience can attest to Vybz Kartel's stardom. And then you have people like me who had the privilege to have experienced both in my prime. Yeah, and a lot of people will say, every time I call Kartel name, I call ALKALINE, and always I compare ALKALINE to Kartel and there's no similarities, right? The fans will always say that for both. But if we're not going to compare the artists, let us compare the fans. Right, because the two set of fans them we cannot deny have the same type of cadence. The two type of fans have this cult-like association to the artist. Them have this unwavering loyalty where not even constructive criticism. Once you call them artists name, them ears perk up. Kartel and ALKALINE have the same type of fan base. You get what I say? And the fans have the same kind of characteristics when you think about how them go hard for the DJ them. Because if you look on even now where ALKALINE has become reclusive and some people are saying fall off and you need to go find a hit song and really blah blah blah. You still have ALKALINE fans where I go say are the best whatever walk. And no other artist can come close to him. Kartel and ALKALINE have the same type of fans. There is no way you can say, oh, I love Gaza, but you don't love Vendetta. Or you love Vendetta, but you don't love Gaza. ALKALINE or Kartel, younger Gen Z brother. You know what I say? The two of them have the same type of temperament. The two of them have the same swag in terms of how they relate to the media and how they have created a lane for themselves in terms of how them make them fans feel about them. In a sense where you cannot deny that they have similarities for real. But ALKALINE's older music still gets views because his name still trends when mentioned. And fans still act like him just bust yesterday. That's because his brand equity is still high. He made himself larger than the moment. And here's my final breakdown. ALKALINE didn't just become famous, he marketed his way into history. Now let's recap. Him have the shock tactics, dependent brand building. He had the long-term album hype. 2016 New Level Unlocked, we cannot deny it. Everybody are still talk about that for years past. He had the comparison PR with Kartel, and he had mystery and scarcity. That equals power. He may not drop as frequently as others, but the impact of his marketing playbook is undeniable. In the business of image, perception, and branding, ALKALINE is a case study. UK right now that I just seen is sold out for all who want talk and say him this and him that and him need to go find a hit song. Him old song them a sellout show. Guys, tag a Vendetta fan who needs to hear this. Comment if you think Alkaline is still relevant or if the hype is gone. But one thing's for sure, Alkaline knew exactly what he was doing.
It's just one thing me have to say. Excellent job. You see me I say, and Alka, what the fucking do me DJ? You don't know, that's the way, you know.